Think your BMW engine is past its prime? You might be surprised. BMWs are engineered for performance, but they're also built to last. 200,000 miles, 300,000 miles, even more. The catch? They need attention. Skip the maintenance, and even the best German engineering won't save you. In this video, I'm showing you the exact steps that will bring your BMW engine back to life. These aren't complicated fixes, just the right maintenance done at the right time. Stick around because these tips will make your engine run smoother, stronger and longer than you thought possible. Let's get started. Number 1, change your engine oil and do it right. I've worked on BMWs for years, and if there's one thing that ruins otherwise solid engines faster than anything else, it's poor oil maintenance. BMW engines run hot, work hard, and demand quality oil. When you skip changes or use the wrong spec, that oil breaks down. Once it does, metal parts grind against each other, heat builds up, and wear accelerates. I've seen engines that could have lasted 250,000 miles destroyed because someone stretched oil changes to 15,000 miles just because the service light didn't come on yet. Here's the truth. BMW's long-life oil service intervals are based on ideal conditions. If you drive in traffic, take short trips, or live somewhere hot or cold, your oil degrades faster. Most BMW engines do best with oil changes every 5,000 to 7,500 miles, not 10,000 or 15,000, and use the right oil. BMWs need oil that meets specific BMW long-life specs, LL01, LL04, or LL14, depending on your engine. Using generic oil that doesn't meet spec can cause timing chain wear, VANOS issues, and sludge buildup. The oil costs more, but it's designed for the tight tolerances and high temperatures BMW engines run at. A good oil change costs between $50 and $80 if you do it yourself. An engine replacement costs $8,000. Do the math. Number 2, replace your oil filter every single time. This one should be obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people skip it or use cheap filters. Your BMW's oil filter isn't just a basic part, it's designed to handle high oil pressure and catch tiny metal particles that build up as your engine runs. A clogged or low-quality filter means dirty oil keeps circulating, and that means more wear on bearings, camshafts, and the VANOS system. Always use a quality filter that meets BMW specs. OEM filters or reputable brands like MAN or Marley are your best options. Cheap filters use lower-grade materials that can collapse under pressure or let debris through. And here's something a lot of DIYers miss. Always replace the crush washer on the drain plug. It's a small rubber or aluminum ring that seals the plug. Reusing old washers leads to leaks. A new washer costs less than $1. An oil leak on your driveway and a ruined subframe from oil saturation costs a lot more. Number 3, clean or replace your VANOS solenoids. If you don't know what VANOS is, it's BMW's variable valve timing system. It adjusts valve timing on the fly to improve power, efficiency, and emissions. Most BMWs from the early 2000s onward have it, and when it gets dirty or fails, you'll notice. Symptoms include rough idle, hesitation on acceleration, poor fuel economy, rattling on startup, and check engine lights for camshaft position errors. The good news? VANOS solenoids are easy to clean. They're located on the front of the engine, usually near the valve cover. You can remove them with basic tools, soak them in brake cleaner or carb cleaner, blow them out with compressed air and reinstall them. The whole job takes about 30 minutes and costs almost nothing. If cleaning doesn't help, replacement solenoids run between $50 and $150 depending on the model. Compare that to a full VANOS unit replacement at $1,500 or more. Number 4, check and replace your valve cover gasket. This is one of the most common oil leaks on BMWs, especially N52, N54, N55 and B58 engines. The valve cover gasket seals the top of the engine where the valve cover meets the cylinder head. Over time, heat and oil break down the gasket material and it starts to leak. You'll see oil pooling around the valve cover, smell burning oil, or notice smoke from the engine bay. Ignoring it makes things worse. Oil can drip onto the exhaust manifold, creating smoke and smell. It can also seep into spark plug wells, causing misfires. And if enough oil leaks out over time, you risk running low and damaging internal components. Replacing the valve cover gasket is straightforward on most BMWs. You'll need basic tools, a new gasket, and maybe an hour or two depending on the engine. The gasket itself costs between $30 and $80. A shop will charge $300 to $600. It's one of the easiest ways to stop leaks and keep your engine clean. Number 5, clean your intake system and throttle body. Carbon buildup is a huge problem on direct injection BMW engines, and that includes most models from the mid-2000s onward. In traditional port injection engines, fuel sprays over the intake valves and keeps them clean. In direct injection engines, fuel goes straight into the cylinder, so the valves never get washed. Over time, carbon deposits build up on the intake valves and throttle body, restricting airflow. Symptoms include rough idle, sluggish acceleration, poor fuel economy, hesitation, and even misfires. The solution is walnut blasting, a process where crushed walnut shells are blasted onto the valves to remove carbon without damaging metal. Shops charge between $300 and $600 for this service, but it makes a massive difference. Some people also use intake cleaners like CRC or Seafoam as a preventive measure, though they're not as effective as walnut blasting for heavy buildup. You should also clean the throttle body. It's located between the air filter and intake manifold. Remove it, spray it with throttle body cleaner, wipe it down, and reinstall. Takes 10 minutes and costs less than $10. A clean throttle body improves throttle response and idle quality. Number 6, replace your spark plugs and ignition coils. BMWs are sensitive to ignition system health. Worn spark plugs or failing coils cause misfires, rough running, poor fuel economy, and engine codes. Most BMW engines need new spark plugs every 30,000 to 60,000 miles depending on the model. Turbocharged engines like the N54 and N55 are especially hard on plugs because of the high combustion pressures. Always use OEM or OEM equivalent plugs. NGK or Bosch are safe bets. Cheap plugs won't last and can cause running issues. Ignition coils also fail over time. If one coil goes bad, it's smart to replace all of them since the others are likely close behind. A full set of coils costs between $150 and $300. Replacing them yourself is easy. Pull the old coil, swap in the new one, and you're done. A shop will charge $500 or more. Number 7, inspect and replace your coolant system components. BMW cooling systems are known for using plastic parts that become brittle with age. We're talking about the expansion tank, radiator end tanks, water pump, thermostat housing, and various hoses. When these fail, your engine overheats, and an overheated BMW engine can warp the head, blow the head gasket, or worse. The expansion tank is usually the first to go. It's made of plastic and sits in the engine bay where it's exposed to heat cycling. Over time, cracks form and coolant leaks out. Check it regularly for cracks, bulging, or discoloration. If it looks questionable, replace it before it fails. A new tank costs between $30 and $60. The water pump is another common failure point, especially on older models. Electric water pumps, common on many modern BMWs, can fail suddenly without warning. Mechanical pumps driven by the belt can leak or seize. If your water pump is original and your car has over 80,000 miles, consider replacing it preemptively. It's cheaper than dealing with an overheated engine on the side of the road. And don't forget to flush and replace your coolant every 50,000 miles or 5 years. Old coolant becomes acidic and eats away at seals and metal components. Always use BMW spec coolant, usually a blue or orange formula, depending on your model year. Mixing coolant types or using generic coolant can cause issues. Number 8. Address oil leaks immediately. BMWs leak oil. It's not a question of if, but when. Common sources include the valve cover gasket, oil filter housing gasket, oil pan gasket, rear main seal, and VANOS solenoid seals. Small leaks might seem harmless, but they add up. Oil drips onto hot exhaust components and creates smoke and smell. It saturates rubber mounts and bushings, causing them to deteriorate faster. And if you lose enough oil without noticing, you risk serious engine damage. The oil filter housing gasket is a big one. It sits at the base of the oil filter and leaks over time. You'll see oil running down the front of the engine. Replacing it requires removing the filter housing, cleaning the mating surfaces, and installing a new gasket. The part costs about $20 and the job takes an hour. A shop charges $200 to $300. Same goes for the oil pan gasket. It's a bigger job because you have to lift the engine or drop the subframe on some models, but it's worth doing if you have a persistent leak. Keeping your engine dry not only prevents mess, it also lets you spot new leaks early before they become problems. Number 9. Keep your cooling system bled properly. Air pockets in the cooling system are a silent killer for BMW engines. When air gets trapped, coolant can't circulate properly, and hot spots develop inside the engine. This leads to overheating, even if your temperature gauge looks normal. Over time, those hot spots can warp the cylinder head or damage the head gasket. Air usually enters the system after a coolant change, a repair, or when a component fails and coolant gets low. The solution is bleeding the system, a process that removes trapped air and ensures coolant flows correctly. Most BMWs have a bleed screw on the thermostat housing or upper radiator hose. You open the screw, run the engine until it reaches operating temperature, and let air escape until only coolant comes out. Some people skip this step or rush through it, and that's a mistake. A proper bleed takes 15 to 20 minutes and requires patience. If you're not comfortable doing it yourself, have a shop handle it. The cost is minimal compared to the damage an air pocket can cause. Number 10. Replace your serpentine belt and tensioner. The serpentine belt drives your alternator, water pump, power steering pump, and air conditioning compressor. If it breaks, everything stops. And on some BMWs, a failed belt can let the water pump stop spinning, leading to immediate overheating. Belts wear out over time. Look for cracks, fraying, glazing, or chunks missing from the ribs. If you see any of these, replace it. Most BMWs need a new belt every 60,000 to 100,000 miles, but inspect it during every oil change. The belt itself costs between $20 and $40 and takes about 20 minutes to replace. While you're at it, inspect the belt tensioner. It's a spring-loaded pulley that keeps tension on the belt. When the tensioner wears out, the belt slips or makes noise. A new tensioner costs between $50 and $100. Replacing both at the same time is smart. It's cheap insurance against a breakdown. Number 11. Use quality fuel and consider fuel system cleaning. BMWs are designed to run on premium fuel, 91 octane or higher. Using regular fuel won't destroy your engine immediately, but it reduces performance, increases engine knock, and can cause carbon buildup over time. The engine control unit will pull timing to prevent damage, which means you lose power and efficiency. If you want your engine to run like new, feed it what it was designed for. You should also consider fuel system cleaning every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. Direct injection engines are prone to carbon buildup on injectors and intake valves. A professional fuel system cleaning service uses specialized chemicals to dissolve deposits and restore proper fuel delivery. Some shops offer this as part of a maintenance package. It's not cheap, usually $150 to $300, but it keeps your fuel system operating at peak efficiency. Number 12. Monitor and replace your PCV system. The positive crankcase ventilation system vents pressure and gases from inside the engine. When it fails or gets clogged, pressure builds up, and you get oil leaks, rough idle, excessive oil consumption, and even damaged seals. On many BMWs, the PCV valve is integrated into the valve cover, which means you can't replace it separately. You have to replace the entire valve cover. Symptoms of a failing PCV system include whistling or hissing noises from the engine, oil in the intake tract, or a check engine light for lean or rich fuel mixture. If you catch it early, you might be able to clean the system. If not, you're looking at a valve cover replacement, which runs between $200 and $500 depending on the model. It's not fun, but it's necessary to keep your engine healthy. Number 13. Stay on top of timing chain maintenance. This is critical for BMW engines with timing chains, especially N52, N54, N55, S55, and some B58 engines. The timing chain keeps the camshaft and crankshaft synchronized. If it stretches or the tensioner fails, the timing slips and the engine runs poorly. In worst-case scenarios, the chain can jump or break, causing catastrophic engine damage. Signs of timing chain issues include rattling on cold startup, rough running, loss of power, and check engine lights for camshaft or crankshaft position errors. If you hear rattling, don't ignore it. Timing chain replacement is expensive, $2,000 to $4,000 depending on the engine, but it's cheaper than rebuilding or replacing the entire engine. Some BMW engines are more prone to timing chain stretch than others. The N20 and N26 four-cylinder turbos are notorious for it. If you own one of these, consider having the chain inspected every 60,000 to 80,000 miles. Preventive replacement isn't cheap, but it beats being stranded with a dead engine. Number 14. Change your transmission fluid. This might not seem engine-related, but a failing transmission puts stress on the engine. Many BMW automatics are labelled lifetime fill, which is misleading. Transmission fluid breaks down over time, especially in cars driven hard or in stop-and-go traffic. Dirty fluid causes rough shifts, slipping and overheating. And when the transmission overheats, it can damage the torque converter and put extra load on the engine. Change your transmission fluid every 60,000 to 80,000 miles or sooner if you drive aggressively. Use the correct BMW spec fluid, ZF Lifeguard 6 or 8 depending on your transmission. A fluid change costs between $200 and $400 at a shop, or about $100 if you do it yourself. That's one of the best things you can do to keep the drivetrain smooth and reduce strain on the engine. Number 15. Listen to your engine and act early. Your BMW will tell you when something's wrong. Knocking, ticking, rattling, hissing, squealing. These aren't normal sounds, neither are check engine lights, rough idle, loss of power, or excessive oil consumption. Catching problems early is the difference between a $50 fix and a $5,000 repair. Get in the habit of checking your oil level every few weeks. Pop the hood and look for leaks, loose hoses, or anything that seems off. If a warning light comes on, don't ignore it. Get the codes read and address the issue. Modern BMWs have sophisticated monitoring systems that detect problems before they become catastrophic, but only if you pay attention. If you're not comfortable diagnosing issues yourself, find a good independent BMW specialist. They'll know the common problems for your model and can catch things before they escalate. A preemptive repair might cost a few $100s. Waiting until something breaks can cost thousands. In the end, making your BMW engine run like new isn't about one magic trick. It's about consistent, intelligent maintenance. Use quality parts, follow the service intervals, address problems early, and don't cut corners on fluids or filters. BMWs are high-performance machines, and they reward owners who take care of them. Neglect them, and they'll punish you with expensive repairs. But if you stay ahead of maintenance, your BMW engine can deliver smooth, strong, reliable performance for 200,000 miles and beyond. It won't cost as much as you think, and it's a lot cheaper than replacing the engine or buying a new car.